I want to go to a Newcastle fan to get their feelings on Isak. Let's go to Andy. Good evening, Andy.
How are you doing, mate? By the way, you're talking garage. That's nothing on Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, mate, we celebrated the late, great Ozzy on the show last Sunday. I've been absolutely binging Ozzy this week. I've been having Mama, I'm Coming Home, Crazy Train Galore. What's your favourite Ozzy tune, Andy?
I like two, actually. Goodbye to Romance and Mr. Crowley.
Mr. Crowley, that intro is just so amazing. Have you seen Jack Black's tribute to Ozzy Osbourne when he's performed it with the kids? Brilliant rendition of Mr. Crowley.
Outstanding. And I also like, I'm Going Through Changes.
Oh, what a wonderful song that is.
When he did that with Sabaton and he did it with Kelly.
Yeah.
That was just outstanding, mate.
And you know what? I must say, the Back to the Beginning concert at Villa Park, Youngblood did a great rendition of Changes. And I've not been the biggest Youngblood fan, but he's a very talented lad and he did a great rendition of Changes. So fair play to him. Andy, let's talk about your beloved Newcastle, because this is not going to go away, this Isak situation. How do you want it resolved?
Well, I'll tell you. The issue is Liverpool saying they're not going to bid anymore. Do you know what that reminds me of?
Go on.
Tyson Fury saying he's retiring from
boxing. That's very funny.
Tyson Fury, I've retired from boxing. I'm going to Morecambe, which is the most dullest place on the planet, by the way. Then he comes back 10 months later and he retires again, comes back 10 months later. Liverpool's going to do the same with Newcastle United on this. Now, my resolution is, and I think your colleague Ben Jacobs partly mentioned it earlier, and I mentioned it on Drive earlier today. Newcastle United, the only falsehood on this thing that I'm going to say now is injury. Newcastle, the Saudi boys have got to come out and say, you've got to sign a contract, right, for 2 years, right, we'll double your wages, and then what happens then is, if Newcastle United aren't in Champions League contention by the end of this season, as long as we get the fee we desire, you can go to anyone you want. And do you know what I would love? I would love it if Real Madrid comes in and says, right, we're going to give you 60 million quid and we're going to give you Rodrigo and we can have Isak.
Thoughts, JP?
Well, it's a lot of ifs and buts. And I think with Isak at the moment, it's not down to finances, because I think you offered 300 million a week and he turned that contract down. Like I said in the start of the show, when a team like Liverpool, when a team like Real Madrid come calling, it is hard to turn them down. It is hard to say, as an athlete, and you want to achieve, you want to play for the best and be at the best. That's all we want to do. It's all we dream about doing as youngsters. And now we've got an opportunity to play at probably, one of the world's iconic team. But yeah, look, as a fan, you probably want to keep him. But all those, will give you double your wages and let's see if we'll make Champions League. He doesn't really care about that now. He just wants a move to test his career at such a big club.
Speaking of big clubs, we've got a fellow Liverpool fan joining us on the show. Paul joins us on the Sports Bar. Evening, Paul.
Evening, guys. You okay?
Yeah, very well. Listen, Isak, is that a player that you desired until it sort of come up in the last couple of weeks? Or, was that someone you've been looking at?
I tell you what, Andy was talking about going through changes. He's going through some changes there by the sounds of it. I don't know which ones it is. The psychedelic ones. I mean, have you guys seen The Godfather, the first one?
Yes.
Yep.
Do you remember when the Don gets shot and then Tom says to Sonny, the older son, it's business, it's not personal? That's what the fans now need to accept and get their head down. The Newcastle hierarchy, this won't be lost on them. This is the perfect storm for them. This is the first year of a 3-year PSR window. The reason they can't sign any players is because they haven't got the revenue coming in or the profits. So the only way they're going to get that in the short term is to sell players. They don't want to sell any of the big players, but this has created the perfect storm. They can sell Isak and they can make 60, 70, 80 million pound profits, and they can put that into the pot to then use to buy players to put on wages. So this has created the perfect storm. Liverpool will know that their hierarchy know this, which is why they've planted that grenade. They've thrown that little grenade in, we'll put a bid in, and now we'll just step back. The players only got one buyer, us. The club know that. They know the player's not going to come back. It's the perfect storm for them. They sell, make the profits, and then they can use that money to invest and buy Bird or like players or whoever. They need to build gradually. They can't just go from the City and the Chelsea days. Those days are gone, unfortunately.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Yeah. Even as we said,
then they get the money in and they've got the 80 million profit to be able to then spend on wages or whatever they want to do with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect.
It's a great point. To both of you, because you're both Liverpool fans, how much do Liverpool need Isak? Because, obviously you've signed Ekitike as well. Is there a world where they can both play together, or is it batting it out for that?
Well, we've seen it with rest his soul, Jota and Nunes, as in, they would change when, one's on fire, one's not. But so I think we'd see the same a little bit with Isak and Ekitike if they play. I think Isak will be the main guy, and Ekitike will be coming in here and there because he's only 22. He can play on the left as well.
Yeah.
With the loss of Diaz, so there's room for him, in the ranks. But I think with an Isak, we would have what we're trying to look for in Nunes. When we thought we was getting Nunes, was all talking about who's going to be the better one out of him in Haaland. Well, with an Isak now, we would literally have that finished article, and it'll take us to new heights.
Do you agree with that, Paul?
Planning a thing. So Salah's not going to. Salah might, we might drop off this season or not. So I think we're just getting the business done now while we've got the money. Because again, these 3-year PSR windows, you've got to make hay while the sun shines, as they say. So we've got the money in the bank now. We've got to spend it in that 3-year window. So why not spend it now? Well, we're at our strength. We can get them in. Salah's going to drop off. So then we've got the boys in that we need. And do we need to go in again next? Well, unless it fails. But I don't think it will, judging on Isak's ability and quality.
And you know what, Paul?
Great planning by the transfer committee guys.
It is, and you know what? You made a really valid point in terms of that sort of overnight Chelsea Man City model of yesteryear doesn't happen. And me and JP mentioned it already. When you sold Coutinho, you used that money to go and
Van Dijk
and Alisson, and that sort of propelled the project that you were working on to get to this point here, and this is that next phase, I think, for Liverpool. Great call, Paul. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Paul.
Listen, Newcastle fans, I want to hear from you. Such a great end to the season. I've been speaking to Geordies all around the world when I've been touring DJing, and they've been saying they listen to the show, of course, with former gaffer Alan Pardew on a Sunday. Final word, don't forget, this Sunday. And, they're sort of over the moon, and Newcastle moving forward. They're feeling this great energy. All of a sudden, their star man, he wants out. The tools have been dropped. So we still want your phone calls on that saga. And if you're going to a game this weekend or have flown around the world to watch your team, you might have flown to Hong Kong to watch Spurs win yet another trophy this week and beat Arsenal.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.